I don't know. It's all gone so far off the rails. Another pre-order went up today. There's Spider-Man cards. I'm excited. It may not seem like it. Let's talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah, somewhere in there's a new Magic set called Dragonstorm coming out, but we're not going to talk about that today.
J Controller Magic is brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your cards quickly and easily on the internet. TCG Player, the best place to go and buy them. Dragon Shield, the best way to protect them. And Moxfield, the best way to put your deck lists on the internet. Jake, we've had a lot of announcements and a lot of pre-orders go up in the last 14 to 30 something days. I was not expecting to randomly get Spider-Man cards and pre-orders on a Saturday here at the beginning of March into February. What is it? The 1st of March. I shouldn't even need to know the date because it's Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. They were like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sneak this in and bamboozle it. I'm surprised we didn't get any of this at MagicCon Chicago. That seems like that would have been a fantastic spot to do that. But we do remember there were, they spoiled the 5 Dragonstorm decks. There were new cards that were shown. So rather than, I guess, stampede over all of that news, they held off just like a week. And now we're getting a bunch of Spider-Man stuff. So we are salivating over Spider-Man. We're salivating over Final Fantasy. We have a new Tarkir set that's coming out. And here we are with all of the FOMO. It's pretty much seeping out of my pores at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And all of our money is seeping out of our wallet. 3 set symbols here. We've got the main set, which, let's just talk through this set. This is a standard legal set. SPM is going to be a standard legal set. What's more,
lots of Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh, dude, so much.
Years of Spider-Man.
What's more is they are removing the Universes Beyond frame from existence. We're going to see Spider-Man Forward for our Universes Beyond releases, aka half of Magic the Gathering now. We're going to see the regular frame, what we're used to. I kind of like that change, Jake. It has been strange having, retro frame, regular frame. That Universes Beyond, kind of everything looks like an artifact in a weird way. It's got this strange, look to it. I'm kind of happy that that is going away, especially with this quantity of Universes Beyond that's going to be in play.
So what Joel's talking about here is we got Swords to Plowshares, which you can see on the right. That is your typical Magic the Gathering frame. Now, it's not going to look massively different, but when you look on the left at the Swords to Plowshares that came out of the Fallout decks that came out when we went to Fallout, you can just see that frame has a little bit of a different kind of, almost like a sheen, kind of like there's this patterned, almost like a texture on there that's just a little bit different. This seems like something that they would have done to differentiate or at least, make people think, oh, wow, look, they even changed the frame up.
Yeah.
But from what we're hearing, they're unifying this, and what you can expect is what you see on the right, which is the typical Magic the Gathering frame.
What's more is the triangle stamp at the bottom, instead of being an oval like you're used to on a rare MTG card, they have the triangle on all rarities at the bottom, and the little holofoil thing is a triangle still on mythics and rares. Some people have said it looks like everything is an artifact in the Universes Beyond frame. The one on the right, I believe, is meant to evoke a little bit more of like papyrus, like paper, like a spell book. Like the original sort of idea of Magic is that you have your deck is your book of spells, and you're turning pages. That's drawing cards and casting spells out of it. And so that lines up a little bit more with the, I guess, opener lore of MTG, though nobody really even thinks or cares about that stuff anymore. I just like that the frames are going to look better and more unified, because personally, I think the one on the right looks better. The other big piece of this, look at the listing here. Play Booster, ignore the prices. We'll all get sad about the prices later. Collector Booster Bundle.
Later in this video.
Scene Box. What is not on this list? Commander decks, my friend. We are not getting Commander decks for the first Spider-Man set. What does that make you feel?
What it makes me think is there's probably going to be a ton of cards that come out in this set that people are going to be able to fill out their decks with and start making commander decks, brewing commander decks. I imagine... I mean, it's kind of weird, right?
Oh, man, it seems so weird to me. All the onboarding that they've been trying to do. I mean, they've got here at the bottom, we'll just kind of skip past the cards and come back to them. They've got here at the bottom, they announced these welcome decks. These are 30-card decks that are monocolor, themed to a hero from the world. Well, Venom, anti-hero. Not going to get into an argument about that right now. This is basically their onboarding here. I assumed that there would be commander decks, obviously, because that seems to be how they make a ton of money, and I don't understand what the choice is here. But at the very least, once we started seeing, okay, maybe this has got more of a beginner spin. We heard they're not going to have pre-cons. We heard that, you know, it's all going to be standard legal. The first cards that we're seeing are lower power, more straightforward designs than we're used to in a modern age. Like, there's not a game-breaking Spider-Man right here, right? It's just a solid Spider-Man card, which we'll get into. But I was like, okay, maybe that'll be like the equivalent of those starter commander decks, right? That we had a few years back, and it'll be a lower power experience, but at the very least, we'll be able to get it. Nope, that is not the case. We've got these things that essentially play... The way it's written seems like they're essentially a little bit thicker jumpstart pack, essentially. And you can play with it by itself, or you can shuffle it together with another one and have a 2-color deck.
Yeah, the vibe I get from this is, like you were just saying, it's very much like a beginner onboarding kind of thing. When you go into your local game store and you are an enthusiast of Spider-Man, and you've never thought about Magic the Gathering before, but you see these cool products sitting on the shelves, and you go to your LGS center and you're like, hey, what's going on with this? Right. Oh, well, Magic the Gathering is a really fun card game. It's been around for more than 30 years, and they've started doing all of these crossover products. And so this is the new crossover product, Spider-Man. So if I'm telling this to somebody who's new to the game, you don't want a super complex deck to try and navigate. You want to be casting stuff like giant growth and like, I play this creature, it's super basic. Yeah. And this is definitely the way to go. Maybe that's why we aren't getting commander decks right out the gate, because commander does have kind of like, it has a bit of a learning curve. If I'm new and getting into Magic and someone says, well, commander's a great way to do it. Yeah. I think as long as I have seasoned Magic players to help onboard me into commander, I'm going to be able to figure it out. But if I am like with a group of friends, none of us have really played Magic before, maybe this is a better way to do it.
Yeah, they must have some data or some poll or something that says that if you want to onboard more people because it's Marvel and then be able to like farm them for the years to come, you're going to need a lower angle of learning curve somehow, lower angle of onboarding somehow, and commander decks will scare them off. Right? Right, exactly. Yeah. It still is strange to me. I am a big proponent of you can make your first Magic the Gathering learning experience commander. I think it's fine. I've had a lot of success teaching multiple people to play commander first, especially gamers, I would say, like board gamers, people that already have sort of a board game, tabletop gaming language, especially. You can go right into commander with Magic the Gathering. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with that or not, what your experience has been with that, viewer. But this is very hand-holdy, and I hope that it doesn't mean that the entire set is full of lower power stuff, like this is some kind of core set, maybe even lower than Foundations. I'm really hopeful, because Jake, $7 play booster, $38 collector booster. Well, I mean, it just goes with, I can stomach higher power. I can stomach higher prices if we're getting higher power or some insanity collectability of it, which makes me think we're not going higher power, Jake. Are we about to see some insanity collectability angle come out on this Spider-Man thing, and that's how the whole thing's going to sell? I'm confused.
What if the IP is the pull, man?
That's
what
it?
If it's not just really that
I want
much
spider
more?
Cards? I know that's why I'm buying it, but that's just me.
I mean, that's what I'm saying though, is at this point, you know, they've conditioned us, and we already know with the recent Final Fantasy announcement and all the FOMO and that product selling out, it's the same kind of thing. You know, that might be it, especially if it's standard. I mean, I'm sure we're going to have some dope ass thing that's in the collector booster,
for
right?
sure.
If
I mean, even the box looks dope. That's awesome.
Oh,
but
it's great.
The fact that this exists is just insanity to me. And look, I know I'm the guy that wore his Captain America shirt to talk about the Spider-Man cards on the internet. I understand the vibe I'm giving off here, but that collector booster box looks sick as hell.
Character. Yeah. You and I should have been in skin tight leotards today. I don't know what we were thinking.
I don't either, man. Hanging upside down.
Yeah, I do like the collectibility of this. I am certain if you get collector boosters of this, that sitting on them is probably not going to be that bad to do.
Dude, for real. If modern collector booster boxes, the trends of those are anything to look at, knowing this IP, knowing that the collector booster box has an image on it from one of the most popular movies of the past decade, if not even longer, man.
I love that movie so much.
Oh, both of them are fantastic.
They're both so good.
Just need that finisher. If the Spidey guy hadn't been such a creep, maybe we'd get number 3, but I don't know anymore.
Oh, nar. I don't even know about that. But
it doesn't matter.
All right, yeah, we won't dig into it. The packaging here: purples, yellows, oranges.
Yeah,
I do think all of that is pretty cool. I kind of wish they had gone with something other than red on the side of that collector booster specifically, but that's just me nitpicking art. I do think it looks really cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
I'm hopeful that there is some balance of power level and collectability to balance out these prices, y'all. And that can't last forever, right? They can't just lean on, oh yeah, more powerful set. Every set is more powerful now that's Universes Beyond because we're charging twice as much for the cards. I don't know. We did get to see some cards, Jake. They provided us this scene here with 6 cards like we've seen in Lord of the Rings. Nearly the exact same packaging as well. Also has a little stand that they can go all in. This is our first look. Overall, I'm very whelmed by these 6 cards. I would say I'm very just aggressively whelmed. They are fine. Yeah. It's awesome to see these new cards. Again, enormous fan. But overall, they're fine. Do any of them stand out to you before we go through the 6?
As a Rakdos player, I really do like Green Goblin. And I was just looking at the card and I'm like, any excuse to play stuff like Faithless Looting, I'm into it. You know, people kind of scoff at that card in Commander. But here, it's kind of dope. Thrill of Possibility, just any of those cards that's like discard a card to draw 2 cards.
Right.
I think Green Goblin is definitely up my alley. Do you agree with the color alignment of it? I'm kind of interested in what you think. Do you think Green Goblin is a Rakdos character?
Yeah, I mean, for a simple approach, for sure. I think that there is good justification here. Green Goblin is all about death and murder and weapons explosions. I mean, sure, Rakdos,
pretty Rakdos, right?
Yeah, Venom is a creature from outer space that consumes other things and sort of absorbs. Yeah, I could see green, black there.
I would not have guessed. It's so weird. And I've been playing a lot of Rivals, and that's another thing as well that people should kind of keep in mind.
Yeah.
Is the window of time that this is coming out in congruency with Marvel Rivals, which has been growing in popularity and is just honestly such a good game. I didn't play a lot of Overwatch, but I do love Marvel Rivals. Venom is really cool. I would not have guessed green, but I guess kind of because it's like a symbiote.
Yeah, Rosewater said that there's going to be some inherent green in Spider-Man's true color identity because he comes from a creature. He comes from an animal, based on an animal. And so they gave blue-white as the color identity to Spider-Man for this set, but Rosewater's on record as saying probably green in there too.
Bant. But are we thinking Bant for Spider-Man?
Yeah, that's I think what probably that's what they fell on for the overall color identity. But we know from the Lord of the Rings set that they can also like pick and choose when these characters are showing up in the card as far as the timeline of the story, different version of the character, different, approach to the character, and mess with color identities that way. We're going to get so many versions of Spectacular Spider-Man, Sensational Spider-Man. We're going to have Peter Parker, Spider-Man, I promise. Like, these are, we're going to get every permutation that you can think of. Spider-Man, Symbiote Spider-Man. I don't know what they'll call it because they can't call it Black Suit Spider-Man because that'd be a crazy card name. But they'll have some name for it, and we'll have Spidey in the black suit too. It's going to be all of them. It's going to be all the versions.
Spider-Verse, right?
Right,
We're going to get so many different
100%, especially seeing this packaging and having Spider-Verse. Just, I mean, that's on the nose, right? That's confirmed. That is just like nearly ripped straight from the movie, if not ripped right from the movie right there. So it's all on the table for them. They've got a ton of stuff going on. Let's look at the cards real fast. We'll just briefly discuss these. There's not a ton to break down here. And then we'll go look at the Amazon pre-orders and see how those are doing.
Interesting
Jake,
mill card.
Yeah, Grasping Tentacles, a black and a blue, and 1 sorcery. Opponent mills 8. You can put an artifact from that graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So you can time it when there's an artifact already there, and you're going to get it regardless, or you can spin the wheel and hope you hit something.
Yeah, as a mill player, knowing that this card is going to, because it's going into standard, it's going to go into modern. There are mill cards that like more than this.
No, and this is, I think we should leave this in because this is going to be one of the most confusing parts of this whole release. SPE is Commander Legacy and Vintage. SPM is the standard legal set. These are all SPE from this scene box. Yeah, dude, I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Jeez. I feel like we should leave that mistake and correction in because it took me a long time to figure out, oh, wait, hang on. These aren't even... Okay, whatever. These are a special separate thing.
The standard stuff is going to go into all of the regular things. If something's standard, it will be modern and so on, legacy and so on, applicable in Commander. And then the SPE stuff is specifically going to be Commander, Vintage.
Yeah, and Legacy.
That makes sense.
Right. Got it. Yeah. So, Grasping Tentacles, Commander card, you know.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like it very much, but if someone's in your meta plays a lot of artifacts, maybe you're going to hit here. We got Venom, Deadly Devourer, green, a black, and 2 legendary creature, symbiote, villain, 4/4, Vigilance, Menace. I like those 2 abilities on there, Vigi and Menace. For 3 and a colon, exile target creature card from a graveyard. Whenever you do, put X 1/1 counters on target symbiote, where X is the exiled card's toughness. This has kind of like a Scavenging Ooze feel. I'm sure that people are probably getting like a Scooze vibe from this. And if it's a creature card, which it has to be a creature card, that's the difference between this and Scooze, is you're going to get 1/1 counters on Venom, where X is the card's toughness. So if you hit somebody's big creature, exile it, make Venom big, and then swing for the fence. Seems pretty straightforward and fun.
Oh yeah, and pretty easily like 7/7 minimum the first time it attacks. Play it for 4, go to your next turn, exile a creature from a graveyard that's got 3 toughness. That doesn't seem that hard to do.
This also has like Branching Evolution vibes, Doubling Season vibes. Very easy for this thing to get out of control quickly, and the fact that it's on your commander as well means you don't have to do a massive amount of wide counter synergy. You could kind of go in a Voltron kind of vibe with this and just be like, all right, Venom baby, let's go.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty strong.
Recursion kind of thing. Eat what you don't want to recur what you do. Yeah, I like that. I think of the new Legends.
Mana to do it is so cheap.
Easy
you
peasy.
Can do this so much and just really beef Venom up. Give it Rancor and then just like it's over, dude.
Oh yeah, Menace. If you add Trample to that, it's
disgusting.
really, really tough to deal with in combat.
Very good.
They'll have to kill it somehow. Yeah, I would say of the Legends, this is the one that calls to me the most as far as like highest playability, possible strength. It is just a finisher. There's no card advantage or anything like that on it, but you know we can't be beggars and choosers. Green Goblin Nemesis is the Rakdos 2/3/3 Goblin Human Villain. Flying, and when you discard a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on target Goblin you control. When you discard a land card, create a tapped treasure token. So, no enabler of discard in and of itself on Mr. Osborne here, but we do have some nice payoffs for discard strategies. Like you were saying with Faithless Looting, stuff like that.
Faithless Looting, Thrill of Possibility. This is also a fun card to just run a casual Wheel of Fortune in, or if you can't afford a Wheel of Fortune, any of those wheel type effects are going to be pretty neat on this. You're going to make treasure tokens as you're discarding lands. If you want to go again Voltron, I think that you could. There's probably a path there where you're just like, I'm going to run a ton of discard a card, draw a card, that effect, Tormenting Voice, all of those. And there's so many upgraded versions of it, like the Big Score, and just a lot of different ways to take advantage of this. And I also like the idea of, making a fun, casual black-red goblin deck. I think that's neat too.
Look at that leg spread on Green Goblin. Look at those knees.
I see what they did with the apparatus that he's riding on. It was a very strategic choice, and I think it was a smart one.
The quad strength there is insane. It definitely gives you something to live up to, right? Like it gives you a goal.
This is kind of like what I'm experiencing when I go on my hikes on the mountain. So this is
walk
kind of
like that.
I don't walk like that, but the leg strength is building to where I'm starting to have kind of those muscles that we're seeing there on Green Goblin.
Those are quite some muscles. We saw his tentacles, Jake, but we've got Doc Ock here.
Yeah, Doc Ock's Tentacles. Doc Ock, evil inventor, a 5, a blue and a black, legendary creature, human scientist, villain. I like villain as a creature type. That's neat. 8/8. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target non-creature artifact you control becomes an 8/8 robot villain artifact creature in addition to its other types. I've never seen anything more casual, but
really beat stick casual though. Like the turn that you play this for 7 mana in blue and black, you immediately can make one of your treasure tokens an 8/8 that can swing. I don't know, y'all. It's a casual legend, okay? I think that this scene box is supposed to be a separate collector product that we all enjoy, and we're just like, look, it makes one big picture. Nice.
Wait, we're already moving on from that card? Okay, that's fine. Sensational.
Do you need to talk about the 8/8 with no other abilities?
I don't. I just was going to kind of remark that, Karavik is pretty bad, but this guy might be worse.
Look, but what if I told you that the 8/8 that you make has no avoidance whatsoever and is going to get blocked by a 1/1? Sensational Spider-Man is a blue and a white and 1 for a 3/3. I didn't know Spider-Man couldn't take an elephant, but all right. Whenever Sensational Spider-Man attacks, you tap target creature defending player controls and put a stun counter on it. Then you may remove up to 3 stun counters from among all permanents, and you draw cards equal to the number of stun counters removed this way.
Lore checks out. I like that there's tapping and stunning. That is absolutely Spider-Man type stuff going on there. I'm not playing this card.
No.
Just particularly. It's pretty mid. I'm not super stoked on it.
Yeah.
But I do see how people can look at it and be like, yes, I want to build this. It's pretty sweet. It's Azorius. It's my least 2 favorite colors.
You say that about any 2 color combination that doesn't involve black. I think that, Jake, this one would go really well. Wasn't there like a blue-white legend that had to do with tapping down things? It was like Icy Manipulator, the commander somehow. I feel like tap down strategy is going to be like, yay, I get to run Spider-Man. But past that, I don't know. I mean, this one could be just fun just to build, just to have a Spider-Man commander early, but we're not that far off from getting some Spider Legends that are better, y'all. Come on. These are okay.
Draw cards equal to the number of stun counters removed this way. This is something we see a lot. Draw built into the commander. I mean, I guess we're looking at this from a commander standpoint, right? That's something that we always do on this channel, is looking at these as that. I mean, that's what this is for. It's for sure. It's for commander.
Exactly.
No one here is playing legacy or vintage. Most of us, maybe some of us are.
Bro, the legacy players aren't looking at Sensational Spider-Man either and being like, finally.
They're also not looking at this channel going, this is my channel for legacy information.
No.
Yeah, it's fine. It's very fine. It's not unplayable.
Yeah.
I do think it's cool that as it swings, it can tap something down, but yeah, kind of mid.
Good cat positioning on the legs here. I love the overall look that Spider-Man's like, look, I can I can do like the cat move there. To my point of a 3/3 for Spider-Man, I feel like that's going to be a thing that I need to fully let go. Obviously it is, because you're going to see these characters across all these universes beyond where you're just like, well, I mean, Spider-Man is essentially the most powerful Marvel hero in some ways. And so indestructible, protection from everything, like you would need something like that to represent on the hero side. Again, not against anything like insane Galactus level kind of stuff, but like there's not really anybody else of regular level-ish that can beat Spider-Man. And so as a 3/3 with no other abilities, reach, flying, nothing, it's just strange to me. But I'm gonna
not
have
even
to.
Ward 1.
I know,
like,
man.
You can just lightning bolt it and kill it.
I know,
it's
man.
just like.
But I think that's gonna be a cognitive dissonance that when you get these universes beyond sets, you're just gonna have to be like, oh, okay, well, look, this is Spider-Man. He just got his power 6 months ago. He just got a good suit going, and he's still learning that he can like tap stuff down when he attacks.
Not gonna lie, it's exactly how I feel every time I kill Wolverine in Rivals.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
yeah, you have to be like,
I don't know how it happened.
I see,
but
right
here we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We also saw the pumpkin bombs, Jake, to go along with our green goblin.
I like this. 1 and a red for an artifact here. Pumpkin bombs. Tap, discard 2 cards, draw 3 cards, then put a fuse counter on this artifact. It deals damage equal to the number of fuse counters on it to target opponent. They gain control of this artifact. I like that it's chaotic. I like that it's something repeatable. I like that it's a kind of like a group hug, group slug, group punch everybody in the face kind of thing going on. Yeah, I think it's a fun card.
It is strange that Pumpkin Bombs is maybe the most playable commander card out of the set, just
Pretty
on
tight.
like playability fun level. But yeah. I do like the cards, Jake, and it's fun to see them. Let's real quick bounce over to Amazon because, man, I'll tell you, there are people who were messaging me today. I've been on top of pre-orders, Joel. I've been watching this. I got my pre-orders in quick on Final Fantasy because I wanted to make sure that I got everything secured as early as possible.
Yep.
We fast forward to a random Saturday morning. We got IGN telling us there's Spider-Man on the way, and you can pre-order right now. Go to Amazon, go! Well, it's all gone, Jake. It's all already gone.
Hope you weren't at a cookout hanging out. Even if you had that availability, what are you feeling when you go in there?
I mean, I feel like this is going to be the price. I feel like we've got full confirmation at this point that Universes Beyond stuff is going to have a higher MSRP across the board. Rosewater sort of like soft confirmed that earlier in the week. And so our last video, we were speculating, is this just going to be how it is? Yeah, that's how it seems, at least right now. And so it is what it is. There's no commander decks for this one. I'm not going to be spending money in that front. I am very interested to see what they bring with these collector boosters, man, because at this point, all I've really got to lean on and try to justify any of this price increase, like not just passing along the IP license cost to the consumer. The last real thing I can lean on is hopefully the collectability is insane and there's like some really rare stuff that you can pull that's desirable. And so we'll see. Right now, you can't buy a collector booster or a box. Those are both sold out. Play booster box is still available. Bundles at 70, and then our little scene thing that we've seen at 42. Are you buying at this price? What are you doing? How are we going to get through this? That is really the question of how do we afford Universes Beyond is going to haunt us all year.
Oh, 100%. I know everybody who just dealt with all the Final Fantasy being like, oh God, it's sold out. Now they're looking at Spider-Man. It's the same kind of thing. I know there's going to be tons of it. Tons and tons and tons, a metric crap ton of this stuff waiting in the wings because you have all of the enfranchised players like us that have been here forever that recognize the FOMO, that can look back on stuff like Lord of the Rings and say, wow, look at what those special edition boxes did. If I was buying those at 200, I'm sitting on them at 1400 a box right now. It's a nice 7x on whatever your original cost basis is. I'm sure you got all those people, and then you have the new players, which this set is geared towards. So you have old players that are going to buy it because they want it, because they know it's hot. Then you have new players that are like, ooh, I like Spider-Man and I haven't played Magic. Tell me more. So yeah, it's going to have kind of that overlap, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. And I'm even more excited to see what kind of stuff we get in the future years down the road once we are in full swing of the Universes Beyond machine, which we're already in, but I want to see it once we get deeper.
Right. Yeah. We're standing here as it begins its descent. Let us know what you think of Spider-Man, y'all, and these cards down in the comments. We'd love to talk to you about it. Thanks to everybody whose name you've seen shooting in between us here. Patreon supporters that are $10 level and higher that'll get in a free pack of Dragon Shields. That's it. Goodbye. Thank you. Subscribe, please. Do it. I love you.
Goodbye. See ya. Love you. Mean it.